Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Vikas Sharma. I'm a dermatologist and hair transplant surgeon at Derma One Clinic. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you what all are the natural remedies available for hair loss. A lot of my patients come to me and ask about the natural options available for treating their hair loss. Some of them are scared of the side effects of allopathic medicines like minoxidil and finasteride. Others are more comfortable with the natural options available for treating their hair. So, in this video, I have prepared a list of all the natural remedies which are available. I will be discussing them one by one. I'll be explaining all the remedies and the scientific evidence that is there, all the scientific studies which have been done, what is the scientific data, whether you should use them or not. I will be covering each and everything in this video. Before we discuss these natural remedies, let us first discuss the types of hair loss that are there. So, the most common type of hair loss is male pattern hair loss, where people tend to lose the hair in this area on the top of their head, and which is the most common type of hair loss, and the hairlines also recede from the sides. This is called male pattern hair loss. A similar kind of hair loss is seen in women also, that is called female pattern hair loss or androgenetic alopecia. The second type of hair loss is alopecia areata, where people tend to lose hair in small patches, which may be on the sides as well as the top. So this is an autoimmune condition where your body's immunity tries to kill your hair by mistake. The third type of hair loss is something called telogen effluvium. This happens when you develop fever or there is some other prolonged illness or any nutritional deficiency going on in your body. At that point of time, your hair may shed off temporarily. It may happen for a short period of time if the cause of the hair loss is short lived. It may happen for a long period of time also if the disease is long lasting. For example, in thyroid problems, the hair loss may persist for years. If you have fever for 7 days, you may lose your hair after 3 months or so from the onset of the fever, and then it recovers on its own. So that is something called acute telogen effluvium. So both these types are known as collectively telogen effluvium. So these are the three types of hair loss for which these natural remedies have been described. So in this video, I will be including a lot of herbs which have been studied for the treatment of hair loss. I will be talking about onion juice. We have already uploaded one video about onion juice and saw palmetto and their role in hair loss on our YouTube channel. You can watch that one also. Still, just to complete the information in this video, I will be repeating it again. First is onion juice. For onion juice, there is one study which showed that it can help in regrowth in patients with alopecia areata. In that study, it was seen that there was a little bit of hair growth in the patients who used onion juice, but it cannot be generalized because that study was a very small study. So it cannot be generalized for the patients of alopecia areata also. Also, onion juice can have a little bit of irritant side effects on the skin, so it is not advisable to use it without a doctor's supervision. Now, most of the patients, they are not interested in using onion juice for alopecia areata. They are more keen on knowing whether it works on androgenetic alopecia or not. So if you're using onion juice for your male pattern hair loss, it's fine. Unfortunately, there are no studies which are there which show that it works in androgenetic alopecia or male pattern hair loss. Since there is a lack of study, it does not mean that it does not work. What it means is it has not been studied yet. My personal experience is that I've seen one patient who improved a little bit with the help of onion juice in androgenetic alopecia also, but the improvement was not as much as we see with minoxidil or finasteride. So, and that too I have seen only in one patient, so it cannot be generalized again. But yes, a lot of people are interested in using it for androgenetic alopecia, so it can be considered as an option, but it is not something which is tried and tested or proven. Next is saw palmetto. You may have heard about it quite a lot. It is a very popular drug. It inhibits 5-alpha reductase, the same enzyme which is inhibited by a medicine called finasteride. Now, what happens is there is a hormone in our body called testosterone, which gets converted into dihydrotestosterone or DHT for short. This process is mediated by an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, which is inhibited by saw palmetto and finasteride both. Now, saw palmetto, when it inhibits this enzyme, DHT levels decrease in our body. Due to this reduced production of DHT, hair regrowth also happens and hair loss stops. Now, the studies of saw palmetto can be divided into three types. One is tissue studies, that is studies conducted in labs. In those studies, it was seen that it reduces inflammation and also promotes hair growth. Then there are studies based on lotions as well as tablets. They have been done on a small number of patients. There are not very extensive studies, but still the studies which are there, they show that there is regrowth which is seen after the application of saw palmetto lotion. Also hair regrowth is seen after the intake of tablets of saw palmetto. So there are some studies which show that it is effective in androgenetic alopecia. Next is ginseng. Ginseng protects your hair from DHT by inhibiting the enzyme 5-alpha reductase. It also protects your hair from the UV damage that is caused by sun rays. It also promotes the production of growth factors in the skin. It reduces the speed of aging as well. It also reduces the death of the cells responsible for the growth of hair. It also promotes the proliferation of something called dermal papillae cells, which are responsible for creating hair. Then it also reduces the microscopic inflammation or the swelling that is going on inside the skin. Now, coming to the studies which have been conducted on ginseng, it has been studied in tissues, it has been studied in mice, it has also been studied in humans. In humans, it has been studied as a lotion, it has also been studied as a tablet. Now, in all these studies, it was found to be effective, it promotes hair growth, but still the studies are not very extensive. It cannot be recommended on a routine basis. Next is Amar Bale or Akash Bale. 10% extract from this plant has been studied as a lotion. It was found to be effective in treating hair loss. It also improves dandruff in patients. Next is pink and blue ginger. The extracts of pink and blue ginger contain something called germacron. In combination with minoxidil, this extract was found to be decently effective. Next is garlic. Garlic has been studied in alopecia areata or the patchy hair loss. It was found to be a little bit effective, but a word of caution here, because in my personal clinical practice, I have seen a lot of patients getting burns because of garlic. Now, alopecia areata, it is a temporary condition. It will only lead to a temporary hair loss in your scalp. But if you apply garlic on top of it, you may lose those hair forever because garlic will burn the skin and it will cause permanent damage. So, it is never advisable to apply garlic on the patches of alopecia areata. Next is coffee. It has been studied in androgenetic alopecia. It has also been found to be effective in the studies which have been conducted. It has been used as a lotion in men and as a shampoo in women. Also, coffee leads to increased production of growth factors in the skin. Next is pumpkin oil. Pumpkin seed oil has been found to be a little bit effective in treating androgenetic alopecia. It was less effective than minoxidil, but still there were some positive. Next is red clover. Red clover inhibits 5-alpha reductase and reduces DHT, thereby promoting the growth of hair. It also reduces the inflammation in the skin, and also it improves the anchoring of the hair. It does it by improving the production of extracellular matrix, which is a cementing substance kind of thing, which anchors the hair to the skin. Next is Marithistle and Anarka apple. Both have very few studies but have shown a little bit of response. Marithistle has silibinin, which has antioxidant properties. Next are those natural remedies or herbs which have only tissue studies or mice studies. They have not been studied in humans. The studies which were conducted in tissues or mice did show positive results. These are Shrubbisophora, tea, green tea, bitter apple, capsicum, rosemary oil, and bhringraj also fall in this category. Now, most of these herbs, they reduce the activity of 5-alpha reductase and thus reduce DHT and thereby promoting hair growth. Some of them also reduce inflammation in the skin. Some of them also promote the growth of dermal papillae cells. In this video, I've tried to cover all the natural remedies for hair loss with scientific evidence. If you would still like to know more about these remedies or the method of using them, please comment in the comment section below.
Please subscribe to our channel, and for more such videos and information, please click on the bell icon. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.